Speaking of scandal, a new Netflix series is sparking an uproar online. The new series, When They See Us, that follows the story of the Central Park Five, who are the New York boys of color who were wrongfully convicted of rape in 1990. A prosecutor in the case, Linda Fairstein, is central to the story. She's played by actress, coincidentally, Felicity Huffman, who just pled guilty in the college admission scandal. But now the hashtag Cancel Linda Fairstein is taking off on Twitter, calling for publishers to stop selling her books. Linda was reportedly a big part in getting false confessions from the teens. She has spent decades arguing against the evidence in the Netflix series. She calls all of this, quote, a basket of lies. Some real consequences could be coming her way. TMZ reports that she could be removed from the board of the non-profit Safe Horizon. TMZ also says that the other directors plan to take legal action if the CEO does not. Rightfully so. I want to see her have the book thrown at her, too. I'm sorry. She ruined people's lives, families' lives, yet she's able to go off with her life.
Yeah, I think we should totally cancel her. I'm actually watching the documentary brings up so many memories because Central Park Five were these 5 young men. We should know their names: Kevin Richardson, Raymond Santana, Antron McCray, Yusef Salaam, Corey Wise. They got 6 to 13 years of their lives taken away. And she literally was complicit in that because she sat there and oversaw the case and really just watch them coerce these dudes.
So she could win a case. Right,
so she can win. And then also she cost the taxpayers money. $41 million was paid to all these guys by New York City and by Mayor de Blasio. And so it's like, we paid for that. People living in New York at the time, we paid for that. So in 2014. So
you
it's
brought
really
up the memories. Like, I gotta hear from you because you being an African-American young, how old were you at that time? You had to have been young at that time.
Yeah, I was young. And I just
so what kind of memories come to surface? Did you feel like further discriminated against? Did you feel like more eyes were on you because of that?
I mean, my parents tried to protect me from that. I think that a lot of times as an African-American young man or even a black man in society, it's like you are the lowest end of the totem pole when you look at this judicial system. And so I know that I'm coming right behind them as an African-American woman and seeing all the shootings that have happened in the last couple of years just to people who weren't doing anything. And so looking at this is just like people who got their lives taken away. Even with Jay-Z, he highlighted the situation that, what was it? The documentary that Jay-Z did, and you know he's doing one on Trayvon Martin, right? He's doing Emmett Till, and people are literally. I think these entertainers. I think it's beautiful that they're bringing these stories to the forefront because a lot of people who weren't my age at the time don't know what happened, and so by Netflix putting it on their platform, HBO, Showtime putting it on their platform, people are starting to understand how these situations affect them, and history is repeating itself sometimes.
Right. And I think we need to learn from that. And just like I talked about the last story, it's the same thing on the other end of the totem pole, as you pointed out. It's our system. You literally take someone that's good at what they do and spin their story so much to a court of law, they could go to jail for no reason.
It's poor people that can't defend themselves that are in there. I mean, how many really rich people do you know that are in jail or that have served time? And I mean, we're talking about the Central Park Five, but what that did is it ushered in an era where now young black men now had less rights than they already had at the bottom of the totem pole. We start talking about things like stop and frisk, where now you can just stop people, rouse them, find whatever you can find, and then give them a rap. So then when it's presented to the public, they're like, this kid has a rap sheet a mile long. It's like, it's because white children were never stopped in the middle of the street by police. So imagine if that happened. Imagine if just a police officer rolled up and frisked Sophie. You would lose your mind.
I would.
And so that's what we're talking about. So that allowed them to put so many black men in jail, where we finally see documentaries like the 13th Amendment. This has been coming for a long time. Again, our system is not broken. This was made like this. It's working perfectly.
Yeah. Well, we just got to do better. I know.
It's terrible.
I'm glad that we're talking about it.
Yeah, of course.
I think it's educating a lot of people out there.